density of housing, which has been a consequence over the years. Kasi may business dyan, may commerce, so siyempre lalapit ng residential. Wala pa yung informal settlers, which have already aggravated and metastasized all over the area. Meantime, these big planes with all this aviation fuel come down. As far as the environment, you can barely see green. If you do, it's turning yellow because of the heat of the sun, no water, and because the priorities are for aviation fuel and whatnot, di ba? What's happened in an area like that? Is that not the airport area here, right in the middle of our city? No less the premier city. Is this not an ecological disaster?
It may happen, but in Southeast Asia, the trend is the very big airports are already outside the city.
Oh nga, look at Hong Kong. Okay. Layo, ang ganda.
So you have, you have Hong Kong, then you have Bangkok,
Japan,
then even Vietnam.
Layo na,
even Vietnam, it's already 1 hour away from the city. And then Kuala Lumpur, Singapore is also another at least 40 minutes away from the center of the city.
Do you agree that's an ecological disaster to begin with?
Well, we do not have that kind of information to really
But the fact
say,
that you are storing aviation fuel, which is extremely combustible, within a density, high density of humans that reside, I think, yung dalawa, incompatible yan di ba? Combustible yan May mamamatay dyan at may mamamatay. We know so many planes have already not made the runway, have overshot it. We already have heard and seen them on the news.
It's like also the Pandakan dito.
So, ecological disaster din yan.
Well, it's not yet an ecological disaster, but it may become an ecological disaster if something happens.
Well, I gotta get Mayor Lim in here. Kasi nilaban ni Mayor Lim yun. Sinabi niya, there's two sides of that. Of course, there's the commerce. That's why I bring it back to you. When you're confronted with commerce, progress, development, pera, income, and then nature, biodiversity, diba? Climate change. These are the new buzzwords, saving Mother Earth. Who should prevail?
Actually, they are not always incompatible. Let's take the case of ecotourism.
So both can exist.
Yeah, both can exist. Like for example, in the mountains in the Philippines today, there can be a lot of degradation from kaingin, from slash and burn. And these are undertaken by people who live in the countryside who are usually poor and marginalized. So the problem is they are willing to stop making charcoal if there's an alternative livelihood. And ecotourism can provide an alternative and additional livelihood to these people. So we can say that if we provide a sustainable livelihood project, economic activity, then deforestation may be reduced. So ecotourism is really, we believe, a sustainable form of tourism. It's a sustainable form of livelihood where you have a forest that is being preserved because that's what the tourists come to see. You love the pristine waters because that's what the tourists are attracted to. They want to bathe in, not in a swimming pool, but in a clean river. So we have local people providing the food, providing the guiding services, etc. And so this is one instance when ecotourism is really economics and ecology coming together.
But providing, you've already come with a solution, ecotourism, the ability to work alongside with Mother Earth. No? I mean, the ability to adapt without one ruining the other and one limiting the other. Who should be doing the regulation? Should it be government? After all, the academics already done their work and done their study. The fact that you're here talking about it is already there. Now, what's the next step? Do we bring you to government?
Government.
Shouldn't legislation come to you and say, okay, kayo dapat magbantay dito? Or should we upgrade the DNR and take out the political side of that?
Government's job is, by its nature, regulatory. Yun ang gobyerno eh.
So dapat yung gawin ng gobyerno, i-regulate nila.
Yes. Now, before they can regulate, they must have the same logical explanation why they're regulating it to such an extent. For example, sasabihin mo, oy, walang delimita ha, there's no dynamite fishing in that area. And there is going to be...
That's education. It's an education issue. Tama ka.
There's going to be a 20 square mile preservation for the corals.
Marine reserve.
Marine reserve. Now, that is government's job. You see, pero ang nangyayari dito sa atin, correct me if I'm wrong, ang nangyayari dito sa atin, yung mga private individuals, yung mga private dive clubs, sila naglilinis, sila nagbabantay, hindi ba?
Yeah. So let's take a look at the Indonsol.
Yes.
Okay.
Yung mga
Sorsogon. So it's an ecotourism activity, and it's being handled by the community and the local government, and spearheaded by the non-government organizations.
Okay.
So previously, the community there were into dynamite fishing.
Yes.
But when ecotourism was introduced to them, and that regularly the butanding or the whale sharks come.
Butanding. I kept trying to remember the word. Butanding pala.
So regularly the butanding come into their area. And then ecotourism was introduced, and there was this market for that kind of activity. And eventually the communities found that it is more lucrative than going into dynamite fishing. And now look at where
That's a nice example.
Is right now in terms of the development.
That's
of
a private initiative, though, nangyari dyan.
Yes, it was a private
It was a private initiative. Pero kung gawin mong gobyerno yan, baka sumabog yun.
Although the local government was very much involved.
Yeah, they're supportive.
They were very supportive of it all at the same time.
Yes.
So,
nakita nila kasi, maraming yung nagpupuntang tao. There are many...
So lessons learned. How should we understand and address lessons learned? Like in the case of Butanding, should that be the case? Ideally, that should be the case all over the country. But the question, I guess, is it? Is it the lesson learned, and is it being addressed elsewhere?
I don't think so, because just last night and this morning, you have all these cases of the endangered animals. Turtles being sold out here in Pasay. So where do they catch them? They must have caught them in the egg-laying areas of these turtles. And there are so many beaches here.
What should we recommend to government then, as a regulatory body? Should the academe, should biodiversity, should the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity get very involved and address the DNR, if not even the new president, because this is the opportunity. It is now the season of hope. Every 6 years we get somebody new. This hope lasts for a good 100 days, so maximize. Is it a season of hope? What can we do to address and propose to the new government?
I do believe it's a season of hope. The Philippines is one of the most beautiful countries in the ASEAN.
Oh, I believe it.
Yes.
I decided to live here because of that.
Yeah.
Beautiful beaches, beautiful forests.
Even the people.
Wildlife, even the people, and our culture is very rich for this type of
I believe
tourism. The important thing is to get everyone involved in a participatory and collaborative approach. And there's already a law which mandates that. For instance, the Protected Areas Act, the NIPAS, National Integrated Protected Area System, has a certain portion that involves non-governmental organizations, the academy, the local people, national government agencies, and local bodies. And it allows us to work together to be able to make decisions for national parks, which are the ecotourism destinations. I think with the new president coming in, that we should enhance this. A lot of civil society groups mushroomed during the time of then President Aquino. I think that is a legacy that should be continued today, and that we should learn how to work together positively towards achieving our goals.
So we are on the right path. Tama, no? Education plan. Just keep being redundant, to keep educating, to keep bringing to the forefront the importance of ecotourism and biodiversity.
That's the Philippines. What about ASEAN?
Oh, the ASEAN, well, we really could not dip our fingers into national concerns because we're in a regional level of operation. However, we have the ASEAN Heritage Parks Program, which we declare a national park as an ASEAN Heritage Park. And right now we have 3 already in the Philippines. We have Mount Apo, Kitanglad, and Iglitbaco. Now this June 17, 18, 19, we will be launching Mount Kitanglad as an ASEAN Heritage Park. So if any one of you are interested to come to Malaybalay and join in the festivities to launch that as an ASEAN Heritage Park, you're welcome to do it.
May air conditioning ba doon pagtulog?
Yes.
You need air conditioning in Mount Kitanglad. You need a mosquito net.
But of course, as a young...